Thank you to be here today with us for this webinar regarding TrustChain Open Call 3, Economics and Democracy. So just to inform you, this webinar is recorded and will be, of course, displayed to all the applicants on our website in the coming day. Also, basic rules. If you have any question to ask, there will be a time slot dedicated for that at the end, and you post your question in the question and answer box so that we can take them in real time and answer to you. So welcome again, and let's start with, first of all, a presentation of the TrustChain project. So for your information, the TrustChain project, fostering a human-centered and trustworthy and sustainable internet, is a European funded project under the Horizon Europe Research and Innovation Programme. It is part of the European Commission Next Generation Internet Initiative, and it has a specific feature since it is a cascade funding project that has been launched in January 2023, thus offering some funding to empower innovators. To empower innovators and end users through 5 open calls to create a portfolio of next generation internet protocol and an ecosystem of decentralized identity management software solution. The idea is that this ecosystem of solution is composed of innovative, let's say, applications that are transparent to the user, interoperable, privacy aware, regulatory compliant, and that can seamlessly integrate and interoperate with any existing decentralized application. I just would like to emphasize on the fact that within this project, we want to answer to a real problem of citizen, of organization, of specific public services, of the industry also in general. And we put a lot of emphasis on a human-centered, trustworthy, and sustainable decentralized internet. So, this project is bring to you innovators by 9 organizations from 7 different European countries, as you can see on this slide. I will not list them. They have been strategically selected for their expertise in order to implement this project with you. The 5 open calls, so how we intend to implement, and we have started to implement this TrustChain project. So it will be through 5 open calls, namely the open call 1 that has already started, decentralized digital identity. The open call 2 that focus on user privacy and data governance. The open call 3, economics and democracy, so the focus of our webinar today. The open call 4, multi-chain support for NGI protocol. And the open call 5, green, scalable, and sustainable DLTs. So these 5 open calls all contribute to a human, should all contribute to a human-centered, trustworthy, and sustainable decentralized internet. And they are also oriented around 3 pillars that is the human-centered design and the empowerment of citizens in general, They are also focused on the regulatory framework and e-democracy, and they should also consider the market framework and the business potential. Each open call provides key technology that can be used as a basis for development in the subsequent call, while also the opposite interaction can be employed by later calls. So we also emphasis on the fact that interoperability must be achieved, and let's say aspect and solution of previous call as also to be considered in a subsequent call and vice versa. There is a specific organization for that when it comes to the implementation of the project, and a specific let's say organization, so that innovators can of course collaborate and communicate between each other. Whatever the call, what we look for is co-creation with engagement of a user since the requirement specification phase till the validation of the proposed solution. It is really important to consider that in your application. We will come back to this later on. We also emphasize on the fact that you should provide democratic, transparent, traceable, and regulatory compliant mechanisms that can support any ecosystem of entities and actors participating with their digital identities. And of course, you have to use decentralized digital identity architecture together with IoT, AI, cloud to edge, DLT, and DT, and embed in your solution important societal goal in accordance with objective truth and therefore trustworthiness. Let's dive more deeply in TrustChain Open Call 3 regarding economics and democracy. The agenda of this presentation will be as follows. So we will present briefly Open Call 3, then we will focus on specific aspects to be covered in your proposal. So what do you need to explain in your proposal? How to implement the human-centered approach in a TrustChain, taking care also of ethics aspect in TrustChain, which is also something that is really important. And then we will discuss about the eligibility criteria and the selection process, how to apply and why. We will also enumerate some frequently asked questions, and then the floor will be yours for your questions so that we can answer to you. So, Open Call 3. It was launched the 6th of December 2023, and the deadline for this call will be the 7th of February 2024 at 5 o'clock CET. The budget is 1,755,000 euro, distributed among up to 15 selected projects and for 9 months duration. So each project can get up to 117K. And the focus is on trustworthy, decentralized solution in the areas of economics and democracy that define, build, and implement market mechanisms for data exchange and data trading, as well as innovative win-win federated business model, open data, in compliance with GDPR and other regulations. So you are invited to submit your proposal on any topics that serve the Open Call 3 vision and objective, with as minimal requirement the following. So adopt a co-creation process with end user from requirement elicitation till validation, use standard technology for full stack development, be open source and desirably reach TRL 7, extend the state of the art in the domain of user privacy and or solve existing real-world problems with data governance, and provide new highly usable software solution. What we are looking for, so this is indicative and not limited to solution, protocol, services, or application that clearly define, grade, extend state-of-the-art, and address one or several of the following issue, aspect, or topic. So here we will go a bit slowly, so that for you to really integrate what we are speaking about. So lack of fair compensation for data owners and content producers in the current data sharing practices, as platform owners unilaterally determine the terms and conditions of data sharing. So if you can answer to this, let's say, issue, your proposal, of course, is welcome. Also, accurate data discoverability in marketplaces that ensure trustworthy matchmaking between seller and buyers. This is actually really important to consider also. Privacy and security, that data exchange, trading, potential for mishandling sensitive information and consequent risk of privacy breach, identity theft, and malicious activities. Of course, if your solution can address this issue, it is also welcome. Lack of enforceable data marketplace contracts and facing the need for clear and equitable service level agreement for both sellers and buyers to establish a trustworthy data exchange platform. Actually, also, we can see that there is no standard pricing model for data, making it challenging to determine the fair market value of different data types. So mechanism to ascertain the data quality and hence its price fairly is challenging, since the value of data can be subjective and context dependent. So once again, any solution tackling this issue are welcome. Also, we can see that traditional price determination mechanisms such as auction need a trusted party to operate, which may create certain bias and limitation. Moreover, participants in this mechanism and in online transaction in general may need to maintain their anonymity, potentially disclosing only property related to their trustworthiness. So once again, any kind of solution related to that matter are welcome. Verification of data source provenance is challenging, since techniques to inspect this aspect for specific product, service, or data are missing. So open reputation management with careful design consideration can be also a solution. The growing emergence of federated marketplace among self-interested parties in various contexts, such as cloud services, IoT data exchange, and more, for increasing service coverage, availability, efficiency, and so forth, require solutions for reliable service logging, transparent billing, equitable value distribution, and efficient resource allocation to enhance service coverage, availability, and efficiency. So if you have a good idea regarding that aspect, it is welcome. And moreover, also what can be considered is how such markets emerge, how they federate, and how they become discoverable to customer could be also an interesting problem to address. innovative incentive mechanism for decentralized coordinated outcome, potentially involving tokenomics in various application contexts, should be also provided. So as you can see, the list is long, and I will continue. Of course, you can just select one of these ideas for your solution, but you can also integrate one or more bullet point in your solution. So let's continue. So enabling also a sustainable circular economy that involves sharing, leasing, reusing existing material and product, demand data provenance, and the transformation of properties of material and then processes applied on them. Means to achieve such an economy requires innovation in terms of material traceability and digital passports. So one more idea that you can consider. Marketplaces for AI machine learning model trading exchange as witness a rise with advancement in AI training model and fear of data exchange due to privacy violation. So a comprehensive comparison of such model and marketplace remain a challenge. So you can consider also this aspect. Digital solution to enhance mobilization and engagement that can utilize real-time information, platform for crowdsourcing ideas, and platform for facilitating access to participatory channel in order to transform and enhance democratic decision-making. A solution for transparent decision-making could boost also public support and trust for public bodies and institutions. Also for members of public bodies, transparency would enable them to avoid any unfair accusation for any alleged misdeeds. So decentralized decision-making in decentralized virtual or physical community by means of referendum in an anonymized manner could further enhance the quality of democracy online and beyond. So this is also one solution that can be considered. So I just recall here that the list, of course, is non-exhaustive. Any good idea that is in line with the TrustChain vision and in particular with Open Call 3 is welcome. Let's see what kind of technique should be implemented. Once again, it is indicative and not limited to. We are expecting, in any case, innovating solution, of course, compared to the state of the art. So consider closely this aspect. So about the technique, so federated business model that consider fair rewarding of its participants. You can also establish new or enrich the existing marketplaces, privacy-preserving data sharing on third-party platform, fair data marketplaces, publish, search, discovery, other mechanism in decentralized environment, negotiation mechanism for data prices, market competition that is fair and regulated. So you should employ some technique that can lead to this. Tokenization of asset and its fair trading, protection against scams such as rug pulls, initial coin offering fraud in digital asset trading, establishing the value of the coin based on their quality content, creating liquidity in the existing data marketplaces, decentralized governance models that are fair and trustworthy to all the parties in a data exchange ecosystem. You should also consider the use of the EI-2 on the EU marketplaces and effective data monetization strategy and business model to incentivize data provider to share their data on exchange platform. So I just want to mention that once again, this is not exhaustive. You should consider the requirements that are also well addressed in the guide for applicant and in the open call text in order to elaborate your proposal. So let's focus on some specific aspects to be covered in your proposal. What do you need to explain? So first of all, it is really important that you use the mandatory TrustChain proposal template. Without that, your proposal will be considered as ineligible. Now, you have to really take care of the open call 3 challenges and explain the one you are going to tackle with your solution. So this is one of the first points to consider. Then you have to explain the specific technological innovation you propose to develop and how it is clearly different from alternative solutions that are already available in the market or developed by previous European research and innovation action and basically developed by or already present in the state of the art. So it is really important that we see that in your proposal. The next point is about the specific user-centric approach and co-creation process you are going to implement. We want to see the approach and the method with the end user, and my colleagues Andres Delano from Cyber Notarius will give you some input shortly with 2 slides regarding that aspect. Then the specific user privacy and data governance needs or challenge you propose to address and who would benefit from it immediately and in the long term. The specific legal and regulatory framework you are going to follow or to contribute to, whether the innovation will focus on the development of a new solution for existing area or a totally disruptive approach or idea. You have to clearly specify this and also mention, in case of a development, the baseline from where you will start. This brings us to the next point. So any work you have already done to respond to this need, for example, if the project focuses on developing an existing capability or building a completely new one. So once again, I just want to emphasize on the fact that you should specify the baseline from where you will start and what really you will develop in the context of TrustChain. You should also highlight any challenges or opportunities relating to equality, diversity, ethics, and inclusion arising from your project, since these aspects are really part of the TrustChain vision. So you should explain what it will bring according to this aspect. And you should also explain how your proposed solution will align with the building blocks developed as part of the Open Call 1 and 2 on digital identity, user privacy, and data governance. So you can find more details around this first 2 Open Call on our website. And you should as well identify and justify how the proposed solution or specific services and or module provided by you can be used by other service and application developer of the TrustChain ecosystem. So you see here we put the emphasis on the fact that you should consider the previous open call and also have in mind the subsequent one. I will give the floor to my colleagues, Andres from Server Voluntarius, to just explain in more detail the user-centric approach and the specific requirements. So Andres, please.
Hi, hello everyone. So I'd like to give you an introduction on first what we mean by user-centric approach, and second, what requirements do we aim for projects to be considered user-centric approach or user-centric and therefore selected. So in short, user-centric approach is basically a project that departs from the needs of real users, and in its core, the user is central. So we do not develop a project so much for the technology or for, let's say, the other sorts of motivations, but the main motivation is that users have a certain need, and these can be responded through a technological solution. User-centric approach has mainly 4 stages that are represented in this circle. The first one is to test the concept and define who are going to be the users. It is important to know who are going to be the users of your solution, and the concept is what are their actual needs. So also to know what are their actual needs and test those needs with users, do some preliminary research. The second phase of the user-centric approach is usually the definition of requirements. So from those needs, what are the requirements that users have, and how are we going to give a response to them? Once these requirements are done, these requirements then are translated to technological developments. And this is platform interface design, and also platform, let's say, architecture, and that is equally responsive as the interface to the needs of users. And finally, there is a piloting with users. So once you've tested the needs and once you've developed whatever is needed from those needs from users, then you test those needs and see if they actually adjust to the reality of users. This can happen many times, and these are called iterations. So, but in the core, the process is in these 4 steps. There is here a list of requirements and challenges and expected outcomes that I'm not going to go through very thoughtfully. It is important that I mention some of them. So, for example, it is important that you have access to end users. This is a challenge that we mark. So make sure your project has in mind who are the end users, how you're going to reach them to do all these activities. Also make sure that you have a sample of users that is representative of the collective that you're going to test in, that you have a roadmap. This is in the outcomes that you describe also in the outcomes, the pilot execution process and analysis, and also that you repeat this process at least 2 times. This is in the iteration part of the requirement, because it is important that you just not do it once, but at least twice, so to say that you are improving your technical solution to the needs of users. If we go to the next slide, then we can see a much I think clearer concept of the requirements that we are needed. So please.
Can you see it, Andres? It's here on my screen, so I hope you can see it.
No.
There's a slight delay, so it should come up. There is a slight delay.
Okay.
Yes. So these are, let's say, requirements for you to ensure that you have a user-centric approach in the project you're submitting. And these are pretty much the things that you need to take more in account when thinking on your project and making yourself the question if it's user-centric approach. The first and most important thing is to show that your solution responds to user real needs. And a good way to show this through preliminary concept testing, but you have to, from one way or another, perhaps you come from a previous project already shown that your solution responds to user real needs. Perhaps you have a base of grassroots organizations that, let's say, evidence the fact that there is a societal need for what you need, but you should for sure justify how your solution is going to impact users, and it is very important. Once this is done, in your application, you should also define which methodological path are you going to follow. So frame and justify the sample selection. How many users are you going to engage? Why are you choosing these users? Why did you select these users? Where are they coming from? These sort of things gives a sense of reality of your user-centric approach. Then prepare an implementation roadmap describing all the phases. So the previously shown 4 phases of the project, when are they going to happen? How are they going to happen? What activities are going to be carried out in short, but also in a complete way. And then describe all the recruitment process of users. You are going to need to involve users if you want a user-centric approach. So how will you recruit your users? Where are they coming from? How will you have access to them? How will you engage them? What are they going to get from the testing rounds, etc. Finally, it is important to show how you will analyze the data and how the results from the pilots and from all the, let's say, activities related with user-centric approach have an impact on the tool. Because yes, you can make focus groups, you can make surveys, you can make interviews, but then this does need to be translated into real, let's say, changes in the solutions that you're making. So how is this going to happen? You need to illustrate in this. And then it is also very important in the end to show that you have the expertise in the team to carry out this activity. So it's not just mentioning this, but also who is going to do this and what is the background of this person. UX research profiles are highly recommended and give a sense of trust that you're actually going to develop a user-centric approach. And these are pretty much everything that you need to define and have in your application if you want to have a successful and credible user-centric approach proposal. And that will be all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Andres. So let's move to the next slide. That is about how to take care of ethical aspect in TrustChain. So just note that this open call tree and in any case TrustChain overall, when you provide a solution, in any case you are managing some sensitive data. This is the scope of TrustChain. So there are specific ethics aspects that you should consider. So the first thing to be done is assess this ethical aspect related to your project using the ethics questionnaire in the guide for applicant. So it is also, let's say that you will have to self-declare different points in the administrative form when applying. So it is your responsibility to consider that, and of course we will check it. Any potential infringement of ethics principle and/or any potential harm can result in the rejection of your proposal. So take this into consideration carefully, and yes, in any case, you will have to self-declare any ethical aspects in the administrative form. One of the most relevant topic also to be addressed, this is data protection, and in particular with respect to GDPR. So whenever you process personal data as part of your project, you have to consider that point. And I just want here to recall that the main obligation are to inform data subjects, because we are, of course, in a co-creation project with end user, and your solution will also serve directly specific user, so you have to inform them. Then you have to ensure that you respect the legal basis for data processing. And for example, you have to consider consent and form consent whenever required. You have to consult also your DPO if you have one, or eventually address your concern to one independent advisor. In any case, you have to seek, when required, approval from an external independent advisor on the measure you propose to mitigate a technical, ethical risk. For example, it has to be an independent, experienced data protection expert, or if mandatory, from an external ethics data protection body. So you have from your side to cover this aspect, and you have to show us that you have taken this aspect into consideration into your proposal. So I hope it was clear. In any case, if you have any question, there will be the time for that. So let's move now to the eligibility criteria and the selection process. So who are we looking for? So developers, innovators, researchers, academics, SMEs, entrepreneurs working on different NGI relevant topics and application domain at the intersection between the technical field, the social sciences and humanities, as well as any other, including economics, environment, art, design, which can contribute to the NGI TrustChain vision. You have to be part of the eligible country. So for that, I just let you refer to the guide for applicants. Everything is mentioned there. And you have also to consider the type of applicant that we consider as eligible. So once again, I just let you refer to the guide for applicant. Everything is explained there. And in any case, follow the European Commission regulation. So regarding the selection process now, there is 3 phases. The eligibility check. So we are going through all proposals received, and we check if the eligible requirement has been successfully met. If not, the proposal is already rejected without being evaluated at the really beginning. If eligible, then the proposal goes to the evaluation stage, and there is a pool of 2 experts that read your proposal, provide strengths and weaknesses compared to a specific grid. You have also access to the evaluation criterion in the guide for applicants, so you know on which you are going to, on what you are going to be evaluated. So if your proposal is among the top ranked proposal, then you have a chance to go to the online interview. In general, for the online interview, we select up to 20 proposal, plus or minus 2, 3, depending if there is ex aequo. And in the online interview, you have to discuss about your proposal and outline all the important points. Once again, what is requested during the online interview is also written in the guide for applicants. So I just let you read carefully this guide. Everything is mentioned there. And yes, if you pass this online interview, so I just remind that we are going to select up to 15 proposals, then you receive an agreement to be signed, and the project start for the 9 months implementation. How and why to apply? So how to apply? The entry point for all proposals is on the F6S platform. You have here the link, but you can find it also on our website. Submission received by any other channel will be automatically discarded. So you have to provide a comprehensive research proposal according to the TrustChain template and instructions set in the guideline for applicants. And you have also to fill in the administrative part, including any obligatory supporting documents specified in the guide for applicants. So everything is well mentioned in the guide once again, and you can find also all this on our website and on the F6S platform. So tips and tricks for a good proposal. I just want to recall here that you have to read carefully the TrustChain Open Call, 3 document and guide for applicant. You have to check carefully the eligibility criteria. You have to take a look also to the frequently asked question on our website and use the official Open Call 3 TrustChain template for your proposal. I also maybe should add here that you have access to information regarding Open Call 1 and Open Call 2 that can also serve as basis also for your proposal. And just keep in mind that also Open Call 3 will be also can be a counterpoint also for the 2 last subsequent Open Call 4 and Open Call 5. Once again, there are some information that you can find on our website. Why to apply? So TrustChain will offer you equity-free funding, coaching on technical and business aspects, access to top infrastructure, as well as visibility and promotion support and networking. I just want here to mention that one of our partners is Alastria, and you can have free access to Alastria blockchain infrastructure that is compliant with Ethereum. It's not compulsory, but it can be also, it can facilitate your life in some aspect. The equity-free funding are also the delivery, let's say, is linked to the result and predefined KPIs. So it's not straightforward. I mean, you have at one point to provide your solution as proposed and as discussed also with our expert in the team. You have coaching support services and access to various expertise for scaling up your innovative business. So you will be able to use that and to leverage this. And also through our partner F6S, you will have also some tips and some information to enhance visibility and promotion, and eventually also to promote networking. So let's go quickly in some frequently asked questions. About the Open Call 3 timeline, I just remind here that the 7th of February is the deadline. The evaluation period is up to 3 months after a call closure. And the signature of the sub-agreement is up to 1 month after the announcement of the final list of selected projects. So in principle, the project should start if you are funded from June 2024. What is a cascade funding? Also known as financial support to third party, the mechanism of the European Commission to distribute public funds in order to create new companies, increase their scalability, SMEs and or mid-cap company in the adoption or development of digital innovation. The main objective of this financing method is to simplify administrative procedure with you, legal entity, thus allowing some projects financed by the EU to issue intern open call to obtain more funding. So we are the TrustChain Core Consortium. We are the vector via which you are able to gain this fund. So yes, I was just mentioning this. So the funding is given by the TrustChain project under sub-agreement signed by selected applicant and the TrustChain Consortium. And the funds are from the European Commission, which uses TrustChain as intermediary. How does the funding mechanism work? The funding mechanism relies on a cascade funding scheme involving our Horizon Europe funds. The scheme is based on a grant agreement signed by the European Commission and the TrustChain Consortium partner. The consortium partner receive the fund, which are then transferred to the winner of the TrustChain Open Call based on the rules and regulation explained in the guide for applicants. And here it is mentioned Open Call 2, but it's the same for Open Call 3. It means that funds received by call winner are Horizon Europe funds. Who is eligible for TrustChain Open Call? Applicant can apply as individual or linked to a legal entity. Hence, the participation is possible in several ways. Team of natural person, so that means teams of individual, all established in an eligible country. This does not consider the country of origin, but the residence permit. And I just want to mention here that a team should at least comport two natural person. A team of one person is not a team, so be careful with that. It is part of the eligibility. The second way to apply is through a legal entity, one or more entities. It can be a consortium of entities established in an eligible country. It can be a university, research centers, NGO, foundation, micro, small and medium-sized enterprise, large enterprise working on internet and other related technology are eligible. It can be also any combination of the above, so a combination of a team of natural person and a legal entity. What are the countries eligible for funding under TrustChain Open Call? So basically, these are the ones that are authorized by the European Commission. So the member states of the European Union, including their outermost region, the overseas countries and territories linked to the member states, and the Horizon Europe associated countries, as described in the reference document and the list of participating countries in Horizon Europe. Can I submit several projects to one specific call? I just want to mention here that the open calls are very competitive and applicants should focus on one specific topic. So TrustChain Consortium recommend you to submit one application per call. whether you are a legal entity and or a team of natural person. In the event of multiple submission, only the latest we receive will be considered for the evaluation process. Any other submitted proposal involving the same applicant will be declared non-eligible and will not be evaluated in any case. This is one rule to be applied. Can I apply to TrustChain 5 Open Call? Yes, you can. However, note that the maximum funding eligible per third party within the TrustChain project is limited to 200K. So be careful to that. I also want to mention here that as the open call overlaps, you should, in that case, carefully demonstrate that you have the capacity to operate in two open calls. It is really important. So that's it from my side. I thank you for listening and hope you will carefully consider what we have said during this presentation. Now it's time for the question and answer, and I can see that there is already a certain amount there in the chat box. So the first one, this webinar will be possible to be seen after. So yes, eventually, I already says that at the very beginning, the webinar is recorded and you will have access to it in few days from now on the website. The next question. So it's associated to the first one, so no need to recall about this. Is the use of eIDAS 2 mandatory? Are non-European participants eligible for eIDAS 2? So maybe I will let the floor to Raj for that, if you want to answer this question.
Thanks, Caroline. Yeah, I think one of the requirements of this project is to comply with eIDAS 2 because there is a toolbox now that's been provided by European Commission. So all new tech that needs to be built should be in align with the eIDAS 2 requirements. So it'll be a mandatory requirements for the design. So just to be mindful that many of the eIDAS 2 access by many of the European countries are at the government level. So if you're a non-EU participant, you will not have at this stage an access to eIDAS. We have seen that in some of the current OC1 projects where there are limited access to APIs for eIDAS 2. So I think at this stage, it'll be very useful for projects to be working within European Commission for the sake of having access to the eIDAS 2.
Thank you, Raj. So hope it was helpful. Is it possible to develop a solution in cooperation with a partner in a non-eligible country?
Yes, sorry, Caroline.
Yeah. Just a second. Regarding the previous question, regarding this eIDAS 2, I mean, okay, of course, what Raj said is true, but just to mention that you don't have necessarily to use for your, I mean, if you are not anyway using EUD wallets or European identities in your solution, the solution could be a market solution, could be covering other aspects from the open calls without really tackling the problem of the digital or decentralized identities. And maybe you could employ one of the solutions from Open Call 1 of TrustChain for this part of your solution. So not necessarily the aspect of the identity management needs to be covered in this call.
we have other calls to be covered here, other topics to be covered here, which are more central to this particular call. That's all from my side.
Thank you, Thanasis, for the compliment. So the next question, is it possible to develop a solution in cooperation with a partner in a non-eligible country if the partner is not directly financed? So yes, this is something that is possible. However, you should really justify why your solution is only adapted to such country. And I would like also to make the emphasis on the fact that you should at one point mention how it will impact the European market as well as the global one. So at one point you should explain why you develop your solution with this specific partner, why there is no such a partner in Europe that can be also leveraged, and to show the impact it will have in any case. You should demonstrate impact on the European market. I don't know if someone from the core consortium want to add something on that aspect. Okay, seems not, so I think we can close this question. So the next question, we participated in Open Call 2 and are considering participating in Open Call 3. So the question is not really related to Open Call 3, just to mention that the results are going to be published very soon for Open Call 2. So that means by the end of this week, since we want Open Call 2 to start beginning of January. So that will be all for that. And yes, one of the last question, actually. So crucially, the project must be open source. Yes, indeed. And we want you to explain this in your proposal. So could you please elaborate on that? Also, could you say something on the number of female-led projects involved thus far? So please, I don't know who want to take the first question. The first question regarding the open source matter. Eventually, Raj or Thanasis or Vasilios, who want to answer to that, to elaborate on this. Thanasis, do you want to?
Yeah, yes, okay. I can. Hello. So I will tell you what we tell to all projects asking this question. So most of the code has to be, or all of the code has to be open source. Now there are some projects or some particular issues where part of the solution needs to be, it's part of the, let's say, commercialization of the whole approach. So it needs to remain proprietary or something like that. So there are several ways to do that, to make your solution open source while maintaining IP rights. So you can always file a patent for the solution. You can, in some cases, also retain some part of the code under a different license, I mean closed source. But this shouldn't reflect, shouldn't be a significant part of the solution. And this has to be properly, explained why this is vital for the for the commercialization of your solution. I mean, why you cannot do it otherwise. This has to be explained in full. And other than that, all the rest of the code needs to be open source. And since I say that, there are also projects that have dependencies on other projects which are closed source. This should be avoided as much as possible, as long as nobody can really use the solution if there are no kind of free versions of the solutions, of the proprietary solutions, so that one can really demonstrate or even run the solution without having to really acquire license on a bunch of other solutions that have been developed in the past. So that's the whole idea. So your solution should be either open source or be based on open source, or if it's based on proprietary solutions, these solutions should have let's say a free version or a demo version, so that it is also possible to run the solution in open source. That's all.
Thank you, Thanasis. Regarding the second part, I will take it, and the gender balance aspect. So you know better than me that in this domain we are facing, let's say, the current state regarding the involvement of women in this kind of research domain. Actually, this is something that we want to achieve, a gender aspect, the gender balance. But it is not, of course, the main consideration of this course, at least in terms of human resources involved in the project. Of course, we take care of it. What is more important for us is that we speak about inclusivity and, of course, including gender balance in the user of your solution. So maybe regarding that aspect, I can leave the floor to Andres. So more than the human resources in your project, this is also for us really important that you consider this in the user-centric approach that you are going to implement. And Andres, if you want to comment on that aspect.
Hi, Caroline. So you mean the gender aspect, right?
Yes, the equality, the inclusivity.
Well, this is something that if your project has this perspective, and we deeply recommend you to do so, it is preferable that it is made in a, let's say, way in which is honest and, let's say, true to the project's objective. So this could be achieved in two ways, let's say internal and external. The internal way is by creating a project that in its core, let's say, has the aim to solve problems that in a way or another are related with gender aspects. So if we are talking, for example, with accessibility of data, or with, let's say, management of data, one should take care of, okay, which data do women and men, let's say, have in difference? What is the management and practices around data for these two different genders? This is one way. Another way is this, let's say, internal way. So into making sure that teams, let's say that the team that develops the project and the research team, the developers team counts with both men and women. So we do not end up in a situation, and we know because the STEM sector is heavily biased towards men, that we end up with projects that are, let's say, designed leaving out perspectives that might be very valuable, and also leaving out people that perhaps have the training but do not make it because of prejudice and so on. So make sure your team is inclusive, consider professionals from all genders, and make sure the solution you want to reach also is solving in one way or another or contributing to gender equality.
Thank you, Andres. So I hope it was clear. And with this last question, I think we have made the round of everything. We can eventually take one last one if there is, but please write it in the comment box. If not, I think we will close for today. So once again, thank you for your participation. We hope to see your solution for this Open Call 3. You can stay updated by considering the different channel that you have on the left-hand side of this screen. And I just want also to mention that there will be a next webinar also for you regarding this Open Call 3 that is planned for January the 15th. So thank you once again. I wish you a good Christmas time and a Happy New Year. And once again, hope to see and looking forward to your proposal. Bye-bye.